Greetings, everyone, to all of our 10 Now Gen family. Just wanted to come and do a little snippet video. Wanted to talk today about the funds for the students, the participants. Their registration is one, you know, item that we'll be receiving that they're sewing into the Ministry of 10 Now Gen. And then there will be the cost for each module. And so we know that there is a set amount that goes to the general 10 Now Gen from their registration fee. And then there's what we keep from that. And then there are the session seeds that they sew into us. And so just giving some ideas for making sure that costs are met and that we can make sure we provide for all things. So there are a couple of scenarios. In person is one scenario, and then virtual is another scenario. And of course, virtual will cost a little bit differently than in person, because in person, first of all, the time is a little bit longer, and then secondly, there are some components that you probably wouldn't have in virtual, or you wouldn't have them the same way, where you're going to be the person that's actually providing them. For instance, snack. You may have a time for snack on virtual. I don't necessarily, think that the time allots for that, but you could do that simultaneously with something else at the same time, and that would be coming from their own environment as opposed to you sending it or giving it to them or something like that. So there's not a cost involved there, if you kind of understand what that means, so that you would be saving what you might have been spending previously for that per participant. The same thing kind of with crafts, because you could be doing a craft where there are things that are already right there in their environment around where they're using the things that are near them. And so there isn't really a cost on our end. Whereas if you were in person, you may be purchasing the material so that everybody has the same thing and they all have what they need, those types of things. So a virtual cost is probably going to be quite a bit lower than an in-person cost. And there are ways to save in person as well, but that might be the case. And so thinking of it that way, you may be set for completing the year with just the collection of those 5 sessions, and you're good. There is an option, should you need to actually have them contribute for the 6th session, so that you can purchase the things that you might need to purchase specifically for that. For instance, decorations or covers for their certificates maybe, or those kinds of things that you might want to provide for them. Or if it's an in-person instead of virtual, you might want to provide little bottles of water or something like that. Those kinds of things. So you want to be thinking about that, and you probably want to be thinking about that ahead of time. Really seeking God on Father, how is it that you want us to celebrate? What are the ways that you want us to be stewards over what we take in? Those types of things. And of course, the ministry has a myriad of ideas for you, and is open to you, checking in with us and running things by us to say, what have other people done, or, how would this work in my particular site specifically? If you need that, we're more than able and willing to help you out with that. But just wanted to throw that idea and thought out to you, that it really helps to plan initially, to seek God first initially, and then to plan initially for what those funds will look like, and maybe even to budget it and say, okay, this is the amount that we'll allot to this. And so perhaps if we have this wonderful idea, if there's not the funds available for it, maybe we'll have to table that one until the next time, or that sort of thing, and then decide right up front, so that you are able to let the participants know right up front, as opposed to surprising them later on or in the end, and they weren't expecting, to say, okay, we believe that this is the plan for the celebration, and we need to account for this amount for every participant, and this is how much that we're asking for each one of them to contribute to that, those types of things. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you have more questions, you can always feel free to contact us. And so thanks so much for your service and for your time, and have an awesome ministry year.